Hey there everybody, how's it going? Nice to see you again. So a bunch of news today, and the first thing I'd like to say is that this video is sponsored by me, and I would highly recommend my Patreon page because it is definitely up and coming. I just started it a few days ago and I really enjoy posting on it, and I really enjoy posting videos up there, and it's content that's a lot freer than the content that I would make for YouTube, because on Patreon I can make content for my audience as opposed to making content with the filter of trying to make content that appeals to new subscribers. And there is a definite difference there. This video that I'm making right now, I'm going to share it on YouTube, but this is more kind of along the lines of what kinds of videos are going to be up on Patreon. They're a little freer, a little more relaxed, a little more laid back, and a little bit more in depth also. So the first thing that's very exciting is my new book, my first book ever. Here is a proof copy of that book, has been ordered in quantity, and I will have the pre-order page up on my website within a few days. I have to work on it, so I'm working on that, and I will make a video when the pre-order page goes live so that you can go up to my website, edwardmartins.com, and pre-order my new book, which is very exciting. It turned out really neat. I really dig it. I'm going to hold this up and make a mess of this, but here you get the idea, okay? So the plan is, so what happened is I laid this whole thing out, and it's kind of tricky and it takes a while. And then I decided that I kind of wanted to put a bunch of words in for each photograph. And I said to myself, well, can I put that on the back? Should I put it in the front? Should I put it like Gavin Hardcastle does, opposite each photograph? And I was thinking about it, and I realized, like, there is no way I'm ever going to get this out by Christmas so that it'll be deliverable by Christmas for Christmas presents, or for the holiday season, for Hanukkah, or whatever other holidays you may celebrate wherever you are. And I got a great idea from Adrian over at AOWS. That's his YouTube channel and his Patreon page. And he said that his next book, what he's thinking of doing, because his first book had no words in it, and what he wants to do is his next book. He says he's going to come up with a PDF download for free that gives you all the information about all the photographs and all the stories and things like that. So that's value added, and I'm going to have that ready definitely by Christmas, because that's a download and that's a lot easier to do. Now, each photograph in this book, it keeps turning to the same page. Hold on for a second. Each photograph in this book, and it's in color and black and white, but each photograph in this book has a number. Okay, like Thor's Well, Cape Perpetua, Oregon, is number 33. You can't see that, it's really small, but you get the idea. And so it's very easy for me to list with a little thumbnail, list the photograph, and then tell the little story that I can, or anything that I can remember about what it was like to take that photograph. And what's really surprising is it's amazing how much I remember about each time I went out. I mean, even back to like 1991 and 1992. So anecdotal stories about each photograph. It's pretty cool. It's I didn't know I could remember that much. So so very cool. So that's the book, and it is coming shortly. Shipments would probably start sometime around mid-November, I would think. But the pre-order will be available in the next few days. And now I would also like to make a pitch for my Patreon page. I'm really enjoying putting content up there, and I think it's going to be something really good. You can join for free. Most of the stuff is locked, but I will be posting some stuff up there that will be unlocked for the free members. So in other words, not just for the general public, but if you join for free, then there will be stuff that will be unlocked that you can see. Now, if you decide to join, I consider it an alternative to YouTube, and I'm making the price of admission $1 to unlock all the content. So if you subscribe for more, then there will be perks, and you'll get photographs and things like that. And I'm still open for suggestions on what the rewards will be for higher level membership. But that's, you know, so put it in a comment below or on Patreon if you have any ideas on that, what you would like to see. But for all the video content and for all the, basically all the content on Patreon, it's $1 a month, $12 a year. That's the price of half a candy bar. I would charge nothing, but then it would be YouTube. It wouldn't make much sense. So basically what you're saying, if you join for $1 for $12 a year, you're saying I'm interested in what you have to say. And it makes it so that I don't have to worry about making content for subscribers. I can make content that I want to make, which I try to do anyway, but I will say it's definitely limiting on YouTube. I end up like self-filtering a lot, which, you know, that kind of takes the fun out of it to a certain extent. So there it is. That's what I got going on. And I've had a great response so far for the first week, and I really appreciate everybody who has signed up. And I think it's wonderful. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm really excited about that. So today's topic is I'd like to talk about how lenses, and particularly third-party lenses, have really changed the game in 2024. I mean, they've really come on strong. There was a time back in the day, and I'm talking like the mid-1980s, where if, you know, you didn't buy the camera brand's lenses, like the Tamron and Tokina and Sigma, they were all pretty awful, and with few exceptions, okay? But everybody, you know, the word got out like, oh, this is a third-party lens that's actually decent. But they were few and far between. And even the manufacturer's lenses, like there were ones that stood out, and I would say 50% of them were probably duds, and the other 50% were pretty good. This was all before computer-aided design, okay, and computer-aided manufacturing techniques, etc. But man, how times have changed, because nowadays you can buy some pretty inexpensive lenses that are pretty damn good. And I'm really amazed by that. So the first company I'd like to talk about is Sigma. And wow, have they come on strong. Like, you know, I consider Sigma a real alternative to the camera manufacturer's lenses. We'll start at the wide end. I have the Sigma 14 to 24 f2.8 DGDN. It's an art series lens, and this lens is absolutely spectacular. It is super sharp. It's 2.8. It's not too heavy. It's not too big. For what? I mean, for a 14 to 24 2.8, it's pretty small and fairly lightweight, but it's really a solid lens. It is at least half the price of the Sony version, and it takes these really cool filters made by another this would be a fourth-party company, and it's called HAIDA, I think it is. And I've shown these in the field when I did the review of the Sigma 14 to 24, which I'll put a card up here or up here, wherever it goes. It's always back, you know, you know how it works. But anyway, these little filters that go in the back of the lens, and Sigma has a little slot where and these are glass, and they're multi-coated, and they're behind the lens, and it's a 3, 4, 6, and 10 stop. I don't know if you can stack them. I haven't tried that. That's a great question. I'll annotate it if you can. I'll give it a shot and see if it works. Probably break half of them, but you might be able to stack them, so that would be interesting. But anyway, the HAIDA filters really solve the filter problem with a lens with one of those bulbous front elements. And so, and neutral density filter is all I need with a lens that's 14 to 24. It's super wide like that, because you don't want to put a polarizer on a lens like that. It creates issues. This Sigma, this is it right here, and there's the bulbous front end. Did that focus? And there's that bulbous front end. But it's not too bad, and it's not, I mean, for what it is, it's not too heavy. The build quality is absolutely rock solid. I mean, it's a beautiful lens. The only thing that's a hair cheap is the cap, but you know, I'm not going to complain about a lens cap, right? So fantastic lens and super sharp. Gavin Hardcastle has this lens. He actually dropped it, I think, and broke the, it's plastic up front here for the lens hood, and he broke the petal off. But the lens is still working, and it's still sharp. And some of his work that he's done with this lens is really, really sharp and beautiful and contrasty and colorful. Fantastic. So if you watch some of his videos, you'll see him using this lens. And he's the one that kind of turned me on to this lens, in the sense that, like, I saw him using it and I saw the results. Particularly, I have his books. I bought Gavin's books. They're very shiny. And that's where I kind of clued into that lens. I saw some of the photographs that he made with that, and they looked sharp. So the next Sigma lens I've got is the 100-400, the DG-DN OS, and this is just a contemporary lens, f5 to 6.3. This lens is really sharp. It's a Canon, but considering it's like under $1,000, I think it was like $839 US dollars on sale. So as great as the Sigma 100-400 is, it's not my main telephoto lens, because it's a little big and it's a little heavy, and I don't really want to carry it around all the time. And I don't really have a need for a 400mm lens all the time either. So this is more of a specialty lens, and the only reason I really got it is because it's $900. I mean, you know, the Sony is $2,800, something like that. And yeah, so professionally sharp lens, made really well, made in Japan too, and really high quality at a great price. It's hard to not just buy this and have it in your kit for the times when you want to do those long telephoto lens shots. But my main telephoto lens nowadays is the venerable, super lightweight, relatively lightweight build, but not cheap build. There's a lot of plastic in here, but it's really high quality plastic, and it's assembled really well. But the 70-300 Tamron, and these are on sale for about $500. And for $500, you know, you just can't beat that. That's an everyday carry around 70-300 full frame lens. It's got a 7-year warranty. Tamron's really good about that, but it is what it is. But for the money, it's a great lens, and it's sharp, and it's professionally sharp, and great color. And you know, what more can you ask for? I mean, we live in the really the golden age of lenses, to be perfectly honest with you. One other thing I'd like to mention about Sigma. Years ago, I bought the Sigma 10mm 2.8 fisheye for Pentax, and it was a big heavy lens, and I really didn't carry it around with me too often, and it worked fine when I bought it. I think I bought it with the K5, the original K5, and it worked. And then I upgraded to K5 II, and the lens quit working. And I didn't use it that often. It was more of a specialty lens. It was kind of heavy. I didn't carry it around with me. And I let it sit in a bag for like 3 or 4 or 5 years. And the warranty was definitely out. And one day I was looking at the lens, and I said, you know, it's kind of a waste. I should send it back to Sigma and see what they have to say. Well, I mailed it back to Sigma, and they completely went through the lens, and it needed a firmware update, which at the time you had to send the lenses back to get that to happen. And they updated the firmware, and they shipped it back to me, and they didn't charge me a thing for it. And I mean, they handled it like it was a warranty coverage kind of a deal. And I mean, they had it back to me within 7 days. And I can't complain about that kind of customer service. I mean, there were no questions asked. And I was really impressed with Sigma's service out in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. I used to live out there, which is interesting also. So there you have it. Really good warranty service from Sigma. I believe Tamron is the same way, although I don't have any personal experience. I've never had a Tamron lens break on me. But these third-party lenses, man, and the lens selection for Sony is one of the big attractions to the brand. It's one of the things that's really hurting Canon these days. There just really isn't any third-party support, or not a lot of it. So there it is. Okay, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. This was more of a Patreon video. This is not a video that's appealing to new subscribers on YouTube. A lot of them are going to click on this, see me talking, and they're gone. And this is the kind of thing, and even more to a greater extent, where I can go into much more detail about what I'm doing and what I'm thinking and what I think about gear on Patreon. So again, for $1 a month to become a member, you get full access to all the content on Patreon. And hey, I really appreciate it. We'll see you out there. Have a great one. Bye. Trip coming up, so watch for trip videos end of next week. All right. See you later. Bye.